here today at the Queen Elizabeth Centre in Westminster, celebrating another fantastic London home show. I'm here today with the So Resi team, and we're exhibiting some fantastic shared ownership properties along with a number of other shared ownership providers. So let's go in, let's check it out. Are you looking for shared ownership or open market?
Yeah, so literally open market. We're just here to know how it goes really. But yeah, we're very interested to know because shared ownership is a new thing we have heard as well. So we're not sure.
What is it you're looking to do? Are you looking to buy shared ownership, open market? What's your price?
We were willing to do anything. We were a bit unsure about the shared ownership because we heard some horror stories. But to be honest, people, explained everything, and I think we're a bit more calm down. Yeah.
What is it that appeals more about shared ownership when buying on the open market?
Well, obviously, it's a bit cheaper, first of all. And I think you can get a bit of support as well.
Okay.
Where I feel in the open market is just, I don't know, there's so much you need to be aware of. Yeah.
And have you seen anything today that's caught your fancy?
Yeah, we did. We saw quite a few. There was the latest one. I don't know which one it was. It was the one just when you get up. It was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and people were good at explaining,
Is it a new home or is it a resale?
New home.
New home.
Yeah, new development. I think it was in Hendon.
Okay.
I think she mentioned.
So Resi.
Yeah, that's probably it.
What is it that you're leaning more towards? Renting, buying on the open market, shared ownership?
We didn't know much about shared ownership until we came here today, and it's been really enlightening. So we've sort of taken a bit of time to find out what our options could be, and then we'll probably go home and have a think about next steps. Yeah.
What is it that potentially is appealing about shared ownership?
I guess just how you can have a lower deposit, and we didn't realise about staircasing, where you can eventually buy more of the property. Initially, we thought with home shared ownership as well that you were sharing it with other people, like private buyers, which you're not, which is from a housing association, which sort of changes the game for us a little bit because it feels a bit more secure.
That's quite a common misconception, actually. When you say shared ownership, we get phone calls saying, yeah, but who am I going to be living with? And people start to panic a little bit. But have you actually looked into the cost versus on the open market, what those monthly payments could look like?
We're still in the early stages, I think. I think we've still got a bit more going around to do. We've got a lot of helpful brochures, and
it's sort of contacts as well, contact details and advice really, which has been really useful.
I think we're set up well for next steps, and we've got a lot more information than we did before we came here, which has been really helpful.
Hello, I was going to pop over and find you, so you were doing. How are you doing?
Can we get you on the show for a bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What are the main questions you're getting?
So we're getting a lot about staircasing at the moment.
Okay.
We're getting an awful lot of questions on what staircasing is, how to get involved.
Joel?
So what is staircasing? Staircasing is the process of purchasing more shares in your property so that you eventually own 100% in an ideal circumstance. But obviously some housing associations will have stipulations on the maximum amount you can staircase to.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot about that. And a lot of questions about the differences between resales and new build. There's a lot of those as well, so covering quite a bit.
What's the difference between you guys and any high street lawyer? What makes you stand out?
We, at the risk of tooting our own horns, we're specialists in shared ownership. So a lot of people do just want to go down and use Uncle Bob down the road who once did a little bit of family law back in the day or something, because they'll get it cheaper and they'll obviously get maybe preferential treatment. But with shared ownership, because the lease can be so specific, it does require a specialist touch, and you do find that just using any old lawyer can actually extend the length of time it takes to complete than you would sort of using a specialist solicitor.
Hello, yes, good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, all good.
Have you found the London Home Show so far today?
Fantastic. It's just getting so busy now. Such a great event to get new people on the ladder is brilliant. So many exhibitors, the opportunity to sit down and talk to us as brokers is brilliant. Yeah, really good, really good.
And what is the mortgage market looking like at the moment for shared ownership?
Very busy, very busy. I think we've definitely seen shared ownership over the last 2-3 years just get stronger and stronger, more and more people looking for it. Let's face it, it's a fantastic way to get on the property ladder, isn't it? So it's brilliant.
And it was some great news in January where we saw the rates start to settle and all-time low in several months.
Yes, yeah, it was good. I think they've still been a little bit up and down, but TSB yesterday just dropped their rates again. So fingers crossed. Bank of England base rate will follow in May, and we'll start to see rates continue to drop a little bit. So yeah, it's all positive,
Great,
all really good,
okay.
all really good.
And what's it looking like in terms of the capital funding and affordability calculators at the moment? Any movement there?
I think lenders will always do the best they can, but there's only so much they can do. But I think what we have seen around affordability is some new lenders kind of coming into the market, especially in shared ownership. Principality, I'll take as an example, just come into the shared ownership space, and they're not taking into account the maintenance charges, which has just allowed affordability to be a bit stretched in places. So I think you're going to see a bit more innovation from lenders to allow it, which is great, which is really, really good.
All right, well, have a lovely day at the London Home
Thank
Show.
you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
So what's your position? What is it that you're doing at the moment in terms of your living arrangements?
So similar to my friends, living at home. I've got a little one, so obviously now I'm looking to move out and find suitable properties.
Yeah. Have you looked at buying on the open market as well?
Initially, I think being in the UK, that was kind of the traditional route. You got raised family that kind of go down the route, but then as things are changing financially and what's being available on the market, I think everything's kind of moving towards a shared ownership.
Yeah.
Personal circumstances have changed, so it's kind of available capital is not as easily obtained. So shared ownership for me was kind of like a halfway house.
And how are you managing at the moment? You've got a little one, you're living at home. How are you managing to save for a deposit?
It's happening. It's happening, but it's very hard. Everyone's talking about childcare, but it's also meant that realistically, I live in East London at the moment, where it's rife with new build shared ownership. It's meant probably I have to start looking kind of more on the outskirts of London / Essex. Kind of, you're within 30 minutes, give or take, but realistically, you're further out. 20, 30 miles away from where probably I ideally like to be, but.
Yeah.
Those are the circumstances.
Yeah. So have you checked out how long it could take to save for a deposit if you're buying with shared ownership?
I think realistically, you're probably looking, obviously depending on what you're saving, you could within a year you could get a sizable enough deposit. Obviously that's based on my circumstances, but a year, 2 years, you could get enough to kind of get you on that ladder with a say 20% equity size.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're buying on the open market, how long do you think it would take you to save for a deposit then?
We're to a minimum 5 to 10, realistically, and that doesn't take into account the increase in house prices. So we say 5 to 10 now, but suddenly that might be 10, 15, depending on, where I live is more Newham based. Maybe 5-10 years ago they were houses at 400 grand. Now they're, Olympics and all that have pushed it 600 plus. It's priced you out of it, but those are the circumstances.
Sounds like you've done your research, and as I said, you're definitely in the right place. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the chat. What's brought you here to the London Home Show today?
So I'm looking to buy a house and looking at all the options. So
Yeah, well, you're in the right place. It's the London Home Show. Have you been looking into other options as well as shared ownership, like buying on the open market or potentially renting?
I have, but I'm a key worker, so my salary is very low. So open market it's just not feasible for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it that you're doing at the moment, living-wise? Are you renting? Do you own a home? Are you with family?
Private renting.
Private renting.
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that at the moment compare to the possibility of owning a share in a home?
It's one of them ones where when you look at it, it's like I could spend more than half my salary on rent and not get anything out of it and save so little, or I could find my own place, say like shared ownership, or build towards having my own place in the long run.
Yeah.
So
who is it? Would you be living on your own, or are you
on my own?
partnered or family?
On my own.
On your own, fab. So it'd be a really great achievement for you to own your own home, and fantastic that you're working in key services.
Yeah.
So have you actually seen any properties at the moment at the show that you're quite interested in?
I've seen some properties around about where I live.
Okay.
So I saw them being built up, and I saw some of them were like, I can't pronounce this, Sorizi?
Yeah. Yes.
Sorizi and L&Q. So I was like intrigued when I heard they were coming here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you heard of resale properties as well?
I have, in theory.
Okay. So resale properties are shared ownership homes, but they're owned by the leaseholders. So people who've actually bought one of these properties before,
Yeah.
much like you see on the open market, they've been lived in and they're selling their shared ownership home. If you go onto the website, sharedownership.co.uk, you'll be able to see both new homes and resale properties available. Loads of options, but not many people know about that, and they always think of new homes when they think of shared ownership. So it might be worth you having a look at that as well.
I shall.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you. So what's brought you here today to the London Home Show? Sorry?
Yeah, we are looking for new accommodation, like first time buyers, first time.
buyers.
So
Yeah, are you looking at shared ownership or buying on the open market?
share ownership, like basically.
And what is it that appeals about shared ownership?
We don't have that much deposit or cash in hand, so shared ownership is only one way to get in the corporate ladder.
It's a really good option. Yeah. So can I ask what you're doing at the moment? Are you renting or?
Yeah, we're renting, private renting. Yeah.
Okay.
It's too expensive.
Yeah. Can I ask how much you're paying on rent?
Now like around £2,000, including bills and everything.
Okay.
1,500 the rent is.
And which area are you in?
Sydenham.
Sydenham. Okay. Have you looked at shared ownership homes around the Sydenham area?
No, actually no. We just exploring
Just
things.
exploring it today.
Yeah.
But in terms of what you've looked into for shared ownership, how does the monthly costs compare to maybe renting?
From my experience, like exactly same.
Same.
Not that much different.
But you get to own a piece of it.
Yeah.
So you get the added security. All right. Lovely. Well, I wish you all the best with your property search.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for talking to us. There's another stand just across from us. First Time Buyer magazine. We had the editor, Linda Clark, on our podcast, episode 1. Everything you need to know about shared ownership and first-time buying. Let's see if they're willing to have a chat. Hello. Can we get you on the podcast quickly? No? Ah. Would you be willing to come on the podcast? How's it going today at the London Home Show?
Yeah, really good. Like, super busy. We're getting a lot of questions, a lot of first-time buyers coming through. It's been good. It's been great.
Well, it's not the first time that First Time Buyer magazine has been on So in the Know podcast.
No, shout out Linda Clark.
Shout out to Linda Clark, yeah. First episode we did was everything about first-time buying.
Yes.
So what's the new magazine about today then?
So we've got Roz from Married at First Sight, if any of you watched that. She talks about how she bought her first house at 21, which is probably unobtainable for a lot of people these days, but we're trying to bring it back, trying to make it obtainable for younger people.
Right. Big question is though,
Yeah.
did she buy on her own? Is she still single?
I think she's still single.
Oh, Married at First Sight does not work.
No.
All right, lovely. And what other features are there in the magazine that people will find useful today?
Do you know what my favourite in this issue has to be? We're speaking about how supermarkets are upping their interiors game. We think that you can pretty much deck out your whole house in Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury's, and it's all affordable, so
What
yeah.
a great tip. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Linda talks about lots of great tips on the first episode of the podcast.
Yes, she does.
So in the know. So definitely, if you're around at the London Home Show, grab yourself a copy. It's a fantastic magazine. Thank you so much. So how's it been at the London Home Show today?
Completely not what I expected. Very busy. It's my first time.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's my first time, so I am really, really shocked as to how busy it is.
Yes. And what sort of things are customers asking?
Mainly, what properties have you got available? 2-3 bedroom shared ownership properties. Mainly around houses. That seems to be a big thing. A lot of people are wanting houses, not flats. So they're wanting to be asked to sort of be registered for any new ones that come on. So that's pretty much the one thing that seems to be coming up more than others.
I'm joined here today by Ben Whiting, our very own So Resi agency sales manager. Ben, how's it going today at the London Home Show?
Good, I've only just arrived. I'm about to present to everybody about shared ownership, so it's quite exciting.
And what is it that your teams do?
I'm the agency sales manager, so my team do all resales across the MTBH portfolio, as well as for any of our third-party clients as well.
And I understand you're going to be up on the stand today presenting your knowledge to the rest of the London Home Show.
That's right, yeah. I'm doing a talk on shared ownership, so I'll be telling everyone about shared ownership as a product, how much it costs, who can buy it, and what next steps they can take once they've bought them.
And how can customers find your team?
They can find us online at sharedownership.co.uk or they can come and find us at the stand.
Fab, lovely. Thanks, Benny. Good luck with your talk.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.